Next week, Kenneth More keeps his upper lip nicely stiffened in colonial India, protecting a young prince from a local uprising with help from Lauren Bacall. Northwest Frontier, next Sunday's film at 3 o'clock.
Hearts of Gold is back with loads of new surprises.
For example, what happened next when this carrot came to life?
And where is Maggie Philbin taking this unknown hero?
And see what happened when we went out onto the streets with hidden cameras to find out who would help an old lady carry her valuable antique desk. We certainly didn't expect the Princess of Wales's brother, Viscount Althorp, to turn up.
Join Esther for a new series of Hearts of Gold in half an hour.
And that's after a look at what the well-dressed body will be wearing in 1991 in the Clothes Show.
It's been really hot in London this weekend, but not as a result of global warming. It's probably because of the fashion industry. Once again, our fashion designers have got their bits of seaweed out and are predicting what's going to be going on in spring and summer 91. Welcome to London Fashion Week. For the next 4 days, 20 of our leading designers will be showing their collections for next spring and summer. It will eventually filter through to the high streets, if not by next year, certainly by 1992. But it's not just a series of runway shows, because there's the British designer collections, where designers sell from their own stand. And there are 2 other major events. Fabrics, the textile industry's offer for the next couple of years, and the career and workwear show, where we see the kind of gear a lot more of us are likely to be wearing. On top of that, there's the 5th birthday for Lynx, and this week's big one, the British Fashion Awards, so it's likely to be a busy couple of days for all of us.
This season we kick off the entire caboodle with Caroline Charles, a stalwart producer of restrained British elegance, usually a tad on the uninspirational side for me. But this time she goes wild and crazy with lime green and leopard skin, and I hear there's even some acid house music in the show. Ooh. Caroline, congratulations on your show. That was quite a departure away from previous collections. Was it a conscious move away from something?
Well, it was young, wasn't it? It was fun. We've got a lot of young customers and they like quality young clothes, so we thought, well, let's go for it.
What did you take as inspiration?
Well, I fought off the 60s like mad, having been there a lot myself, even before. But you couldn't resist it. There's something very funny about the whole thing, and it sort of suits now.
Tell us about the kite, because you introduced that as a brand new shape.
Well, it seemed to me that we got into that tight little hips and the lycra-clad bottom half, and the sloppy Joe top was a good one, particularly for the summer. And also we hid a lot of things for people who didn't want to show off everything.
What about menswear? It was your first collection, wasn't it?
Yes, we have done men's in the 60s, the great 60s, for Ringo Starr and so forth. And people have asked us, and again, I just felt, you know, this business is about what you feel.
Have you any worries at all how buyers will take to it?
Oh, no. The buyers and I are old friends. We understand each other.
Do you think there are pressures on a designer to produce what people expect?
No, I think the pressure on the designer is to amuse their customers so they can't resist buying the garments. Simple.
Workers for Freedom, the current holders of the Designer of the Year title, turned their back on Europe's thirst for colour and presented a collection of new age black and white with just a hint of natural linen. Pie crust hems and bathing bell bodices with shoulder bows got the show underway. Sophisticated off-the-shoulder tiered dresses in swirls and triangle printed silk battled it out with loose trousers in the same print, teamed with heavily embroidered shirts which have become part of the workers' handwriting. Black and white hand-knit sweaters delighted an expectant audience. This is the stuff that export buyers come to Britain for. Finally, some colour. Dazzling Balinese prints in piercing colours for shirts, shorts and trousers, which looked a must for next year's holidays. At workers' prices, though, you'll have to be careful to leave enough for the plane ticket.
Fascinating to see clothes on the catwalk 6 months in advance, which is why you can't help but to admire the fashion designers for their forward thinking. But spare a thought for the fabric designers, because here at Fabric's exhibition in Olympia, they're presenting their themes as far ahead as spring '92.
We've got 3 main themes that we've grouped together, which we feel show the strongest areas that people are going to want to be thinking about. The first we've called Harmony, which encapsulates all the ecological, naturalistic feelings that are going on at the moment, anything to do with nature. It also takes in the unification of Europe, breaking down of barriers, and the importance of the home and the family. The second one is called Individual. That's far more technological, younger in a way. That incorporates the influence from active sportswear that's going on at the moment. And then the third one is Spiritual, which is rather more sophisticated. It's a little bit ethereal, calm, tranquil, and meditative.
The most exciting thing that's happening today is the introduction of the microfiber, a very, very fine polyester that's going to give us an entirely new generation of fabrics. Technology coming from Japan, developed in Europe, and now very fast becoming an important fabric for the UK.
In my opinion, Jo Casely-Hayford should have been nominated for Designer of the Year. Superbly conceived and finished designs conveyed with the confidence of a true craftsman show what a major league perfectionist he really is.
I'm showing the strength of women in the 90s and how we've broken down so many social barriers, and I think it's such an exciting time. My ideas flow. I think if I have a feeling, an inspiration for something, the ideas flow. And this is something that is very close to me, and I felt very strongly for this collection, because it really is a reflection, I think, of the way I see society at the moment.
The amiable Irishman opened his show with natural linen suits with an unusual variation of the Ivy League suit. Cornflower, custom and lilac long lean jackets were teamed with slim 50s Audrey Hepburn pants, all highly wearable. Similar jackets were worn with short skirts and even shorter shorts. Printed crepe machine play suits played big sister to plain navy linen sunsuits. Printed waistcoats of every conceivable shape hovered over mustard shorts. Paul took the Irish theme to the ultimate with heather bikini bottoms. We'll need Alan Titchmarsh on the clothes show if the trend continues. But when the jesting stopped, Paul came through with some highly wearable suits in fuchsia, butter and peppermint green. Adina Ron showed one of the slickest collections of the weekend that will offer strong competition to the big European and American labels. Adina's knitwear is now a really collectible item, and she's up for the British Knitwear Designer Award this week, but it was her grown-up, sexy tailoring that brought the applause. Adina runs a real family business with husband Dick handling the selling, and even daughter Sheba and her schoolmates doing a spot of modelling.
I hate to go back too far, but we've known each other since the 60s, and I've watched with amazement her progress through the world of fashion. It suits grown-up women, but it also, without being matronly, you know. We know what it wants to look like, a matron, but at the same time, you know, there's a stage in your life where you prefer that your wardrobe doesn't look like a costume.
It surprises me what I saw on the runway today for Adina, from doing this sort of really big jumpers, then to seeing those tiny little shorts and things. I think it shocks us all back into glamour.
London Fashion Week is, of course, just for the trade and media, but we get bombarded with requests from viewers for ticket applications that we simply can't satisfy. So we came up with an idea for a show that would enable members of the public to see not only designer clothes, but also a complete A to Z of fashion and beauty. It's the Clothes Show Live, and this year it's at the NEC in December. The latest news can be found in the Radio Times, which has details of a special travel offer for young people, which enables them to get £6 off a British Rail travel card, and this info is also in the new edition of the Clothes Show magazine. But please note that the offer only covers entrance to the exhibition. For admission to the Fashion Theatre, there's an extra charge. For more details, you can ring the NEC ticket hotline on 021 780 4133.
I'm on my usual exhibition walkabout to suss out what the designers on the static stands are doing. This looks interesting.
The initial inspiration was based on the Marie Celeste from the 19th century sailing ships. It was when we went to Greenwich one day, we thought we saw we imagined the big sailing ships and the rigging, such as here, as ties and as a very good styling feature.
This is a piece of clothing I really like from the Dutch design team Gletscher, and it's got dual purpose because it's very thin and your skin can breathe in it, but also if it rains you won't get wet because it's made from triacetate, so it's totally waterproof, because it does rain a lot in Holland and England. These shoes are by Transport, and this is their latest collection, which they've called the Sweet Shop range. They sell mostly in Japan and America, but these colours are a bit on the bright side for me, so I picked out some of the things that I like that they've done. This is a unisex shoe. And also I like these shapes for the heels. Come and look at this. Body mass gone square. No, this is the name of their collection, and they've mixed Mondrian with motocross influences and sportswear with sophistication, and this might be one item that I'm going to have to earmark. I've shown you a selection of what's caught my eye, but some of you might say my tastes lean towards the adventurous, so if you fancy something different, Jeff's looking at the alternatives.
One of my favourite designers and one of Britain's best fashion retailers is Joseph. So Joseph, why has it taken a Frenchman to come to Britain to show us how to do knitwear?
Well, I don't know. For years, I've remembered French people. It's a tradition coming to England and buying their sweaters, you know, and it's the cheapest thing in France to have bought, you know, even a Marks and Spencer cashmere and bring it back to France. So I've always, in fact, my first trip to England were to come and buy sweaters.
After Joseph, one of my next port of calls is Gabriella Legenza, who makes some of the best hats in London. She started off life as an architect and has now become renowned for making these absolutely beautiful straw shapes. I always think of Timney Fowler in sort of black and white terms, and now this stand is just awash with colour. Is this a big change for you?
Well, not really. We've had a design consultancy for 11 years producing quite colourful prints, working with lots and lots of different companies throughout the world. But our own production, our own image that we set as our house style initially started as black and white.
If you're looking for the little black dress, look no further than Monica Chong. They're not some of the cheapest in Britain, but they're certainly some of the best made. And if you're in for the 60s kick, the ultimate must be this orange silk dress covered in paillettes. This is where I came in.
This is the heaven that's what been waiting for. Vibrations of love for one and all.
A lot of our viewers that have got bulges in the wrong place always say, oh, you always show stretch garments for young people. Do you think it's something that a more mature figure can wear?
Well, absolutely. I think any woman can wear our stretch bodies. Maybe they may not wear it with tight leggings. They might wear it with a full skirt, or they might wear, say, a big top, big shirt with tight leggings. So I think that it's, you can wear it either way.
Excuse me, please. Sorry, excuse me. That's my lot. I'm going for a cup of tea.
What do you take into account when you design corporate clothing?
So any number of things. The client's corporate identity, the end use of the garment, obviously, the age range, the size range of people who are going to wear it.
What inspired you to come up with your winning design?
The thinking behind it was versatility. The idea behind that was somebody in a very hectic role who maybe had to fulfill a number of different job functions in the course of the day.
I can't believe I'm free. Sometimes you gotta take a chance on yourself.
My environment, the darkest tale. Take a deep breath, sometimes it's hard to inhale. Pollution and destruction, no bounds. We're killing all the animals and clearing all the grounds. More people
It was the Lynx organisation which really set the pace this week with a spectacular show to mark 5 successful campaigning years. As a mark of its influence, security this year was trebled. The guards on the gate told to check and recheck celebrity and guest invitations in a bid to prevent any feared retaliation from the fur trade.
I love Paris in the springtime. I love Paris in the fall.
I think that it'll take a long time for people to stop wearing fur coats, but really what you're waiting for is kids who are growing up, who love fluffy animals and know that that's what goes into a fur coat. And when they get to the age when people are trying to sell them fur, they're just going to say, forget it, I'm not stupid.
I'm an avid conservationist. I care very much about animals and about the planet in general, and I see absolutely no reason why animals should be killed for people to wear their pelts. There's no necessity for it. If you have to wear fur, then wear fake fur.
The fur trade is very powerful because there's a lot of money behind that. And Lynx obviously are lacking in funds, that's why they're a charity.
But in spite of a
celebratory air, the low note of the evening will be the announcement later on that in fact Lynx is dead broke.
They are spending their money on campaigning so that people know about what they have to do, so you must send your money. We really do need pennies, 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 pounds, pounds. And we're just going to go to an auction and we're going to try and make some pennies. But we have got about 4 days left. We are zilcho.
It's up to all of us. These people put all their time and energy, you know, their lives into this cause. And it's not very difficult for most people to just even put a pound in.
Yes, desperate trouble at the moment, as Mark Glover explained. They really, really do need funds to help spread the word even more so, and also to open up more offices worldwide.
Ghost designed under the theme The Spirit of Ghost, and there was definitely more than just the spirit of the 70s in this collection. Platform shoes took to the stage with afros and dazzle shades. A collection of minis and hot pants hit the catwalk, and everyone, including supporters yelping loudly at the back of hall, had a groovy time. It's the fabric and free and easy feel to the clothes that's Ghost's signature, but this time around tight pedal pushers and fitted jackets were the finale order of the day, a reflection perhaps that James Lagertho is at the helm. The highlight of the week is the prestigious British Fashion Awards, and the clothes show has exclusive coverage on BBC1 Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. Amongst the prizes are the Hall of Fame, awarded to the designer who's made the most substantial contribution to the fashion industry over the years. And then there's the much coveted Designer of the Year award, and that's created a real buzz around here during the last few days. It's being presented in association with Claire Roll, and of the 6 nominees, 4 designers have already shown their collections on the catwalks this weekend. Designers' obsession with New Age continued for Betty Jackson into 1991 with a sleek collection of easy-to-wear resort clothes. Loose, baggy, transparent T-shirts worn over shirts and pants underlined what we have seen in Italy earlier this week, that we're in for a see-through summer next year. Betty's ability to pull a stunning print story out of the bag for each collection was evident again, and she skillfully lifted the print motif and transplanted it onto oversized sweaters.
Arabella Pollen walked the dog with dog-tooth check suits with mini-skirts and even more minuscule shorts, and revised a 50s phenomena of loose swingy jackets called the topper. She followed Milan and trod firmly in the footsteps of Emilio Pucci and produced a collection of psychedelic, body-conscious clothes, but teamed them with her own signature tailored jackets. I hope for Bella's sake that the city bounces back, as her clothes are definitely for the young and affluent. This collection is not for anyone who's faint-hearted or over 40. An obsession with the 60s was evident everywhere, including more flick-up hairdos than Jean Shrimpton had photo calls. It was all rounded off with 60s shifts and mirrored minis that would have graced the premiere of A Hard Day's Night. Cathy McGowan and Marianne Faithfull, come in please. Vivienne Westwood opened her show as usual, ready to shock and confound. Sarah Stockbridge, Vivienne's own reincarnation of Marilyn Monroe, teased the audience as usual. It was a mixed collection, veering from sophisticated tailoring that has yet to find a firm following to Rococo and Renaissance-inspired clothes that left Westwood addicts swooning.
By the time the show's on, it's wonderful because all the models are so excited. And at the end of it, you feel really great because they're all kissing you and they just had the most wonderful time telling you they're going to be high for a week. And it's really, really great.
Tuesday night is going to be the Fashion Awards. Everybody's like tipping you finally that this is going to be your year. Are you looking forward to that?
I haven't thought about it at all. I have been surprised in the past not to get the award. I think I would be surprised to get it by now.
Helen Storey is a relatively new name to the ranks of the big-time designers, but stands a good chance of picking up the main prize. Helen's first ever solo show is at 7 o'clock tonight.
I'm doing a show at a time when a lot of other designers decided not to. So in that sense,
it could work completely for me or completely against me. I mean, on one hand, people say there's nothing else to look at, so you can easily make yourself into sort of mega stardom. And on the other hand, it's at a time when sort of economically and other things are going in the world which sort of put the priority of clothes perhaps lower down the list than they would have maybe 5 or 6 years ago in the sort of body map era. I've started becoming very interested in women's issues, mainly a lot to do with women in the workplace and how they have to find the idea of having children and working is a compromise, and how you make the word compromise a positive thing. And I think the baby on the dress was really a symbolic thing of the fact that a woman that's wearing it probably is going to have a figure that's absolutely perfect, but in fact she's still got all the apparatus to be able to produce this child.
What's rage all about?
That again is supposed to be about female rage. It's about fronts and backs that don't match, and most of the collection is actually about sort of the camouflage that different women take on. The collection is a lot of a sort of exploration of that, if you like, and saying that women can be this awful word, quote, sexy, and still manage to do all the things that they want to do.
Quite a few British designers are taking their manufacture away from the United Kingdom and producing abroad. But Helen Storey has found a rather unique manufacturing resource here in Portreath in Cornwall.
On this one, what I'm really concerned about is the repeat of print, where it hits.
Now, why come all the way to Cornwall?
The overheads in London are astronomical. If I was to produce anything in London, I think I'd probably price myself right out of the market. So price is obviously a consideration. Space is another, and also attitude of the girls that work with Barbara, in that they're totally committed and aren't sort of 9 to 5 in the sense that you tend to get when people are employed in a city where it just tends to be a job. Everybody here cares passionately about their work, and that shows at the end of the day in the product.
We take great pride here to send everything out looking good, you know, because unless we do, Helen won't get any orders, and then I won't have any work.
The camouflage collection was designed before Saddam Hussein did what he did, but it's been quite interesting to see the remarks, because a few journalists that I with great respect I've shown the collection to, and it was actually called Combat Woman, which was all to do with the idea, again, going back to what a woman has to wear in order to do these ridiculous, compromising things. But so it has nothing to do with war, and if anything, the way it is styled is anti-war.
Poochie, big news at the moment. Is that where the idea for the abstracts came from?
Well, that came from a documentary I saw on a painter who did paintings that weren't supposed to sell. He just did them because he liked them. So I did one painting on a pair of trousers, and I took it into the office, and 8 girls said, "That's the most commercial thing you've ever done." And I've been painting ever since.
A lot of people think designers are always inevitably rich. Is that so?
I've got a hole in my shoe, look.
That's what I was going to ask you. Are you going to treat yourself to a new pair of shoes if this collection is a whiz?
I get attached to them.
The other contenders for Designer of the Year are John Galliano, who'll be showing in Paris, and Rifat Ozbek, who, like the superstar that he is, has preferred to make a video. But best set your video for 8 o'clock on Tuesday, if you can't be with us on BBC1, to see who wrests the crown from the kings of fashion, Workers for Freedom.
What's in the new Clothes Show magazine?
There's all the lowdown on the best from the high street.
Meet the cast of Bread dressed up for a night on the town. You can win a designer car and drive away in a pair of jeans. Jeff Banks has turned agony uncle, so there's a chance to solve your fashion problems.
Great coats. How to wrap up warm this winter.
Get a flat stomach in 15 days. Run away with the best trainers on the market.
What I like is the free pair of stockings.
The BBC's Clothes Show magazine, out now.
Now on BBC One, Esther Ranson returns with a new series of stories about some folks with hearts of gold.
very much indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another series of Hearts of Gold, and welcome first of all to the lovely Michael Gross. Well, this evening we're going to discover another remarkable group of people who've been nominated for our special Heart of Gold Award for their kindness or courage.
And